Hi everyone, this is Dave with Salty Cat Gaming, and in this episode, we're doing something different. We have Zach on the line. We have Zach. We have Zach here, um,
Online.
and he and I are going to do a Q&A session after HeroQuest. So this episode of this, our inaugural episode, will pair with the HeroQuest Quest 2 of the Spirit Queen's Torment episode. So everything we're going to talk about in here relates to that episode. I'll put a link down below so you can see that episode if you want. I don't know if this will make sense if you haven't seen it, because we're going to talk about things that happened in the episode. Now, what we're also doing is I'm taking the output of this episode. So I took it all. I took I basically popped into an AI. I asked it to make some creative questions for me and Zach, and I sent them to both of us. So based on the content of the video. So Zach has a list to ask for me that I haven't really seen, and I have a list for Zach that I know he hasn't seen since I did all the question generation. So this will be fun. So we're just going to go back and forth. We're going to talk about the episode a little bit, and then we're just going to pop these Q&As in and see what happens. Because I don't even know if you remember this episode, because this wasn't the last two games we filmed. It would be before that, and this is the episode where we had the flesh tube, and then we had
The sphincter.
yeah, this whole
The
sphincter thing,
sphincter
and then
stuff come up.
and the Von Dom stuff is in this episode. So
Oh, Jean
um,
Claude Van.
we play so much HeroQuest, play other games. Sometimes the storylines get a little convoluted. Who's the big bad this time? Like, I actually, when I went back and watched the episode, the name of the big bad we fight in. Oh, maybe this is a spoiler. So I should say this is a spoiler. So if you don't want a spoiler, close your earballs for a second. But they name drop the big bad that we end up fighting in this episode, and I didn't realize it. Like when we filmed Quest 3 or 4, when the big bad comes up that we fight in Wyvern's Keep, I didn't realize it was Quest 3. So I didn't realize that that's who that was. Like, I didn't connect the dots
And this
until I
is
went
the
back.
PB&J sorcerer guy.
Yeah, the one I can
So
never
not
remember the
not
name of.
Melance.
It's the lady
Melantha guy.
wielding the dread cookie magic along with fire magic.
Have the protein shake people in my mind now instead, but it's Cavra.
Yeah, Kavra the Destroyer. Yeah, that's right.
Does that sound right? Okay. Because
Okay. Yeah.
Kachava is trying to take its place at Brain.
Yeah. So
Not a sponsor, but you can be if you'd like to help
you've
us out.
you've thrown so many sponsors and Patreons out. I
Yeah,
mean, I've cut a lot of that out, so I don't know how much everybody else
yeah.
sees. But when are you
Cut
going to
most
have
of my
your
presence
foot
out.
Patreon?
Oh, the only feats? I don't
Yeah.
know. That's gonna.
Uh,
We're working on some of the studio. We have the right lighting, and we want some more talent on board. It's coming along, little by
Talent. Okay.
little.
All right. I don't
Yeah,
want to sign up. I'm just letting you know now. All right.
we're
So do you want
calling
to
it.
ask? What's that?
Nothing.
Do
I'll
you want to
save it
ask the
for a
questions
later.
first, or do you want me to ask the questions first?
I mean, we just have to try it out, I suppose, right?
All right, which do you want? I got 4
Look at these organized.
categories, and I
Yeah,
think you have
same. Do we want to
4.
just
Okay.
do like you know, not just straight down the list kind of thing, kind of out of each
If you want to
category
open it
one.
up and just pick one from any category, and then I will do
Okay.
the same. You just got to
Okay.
remember which one you ask, so you don't want to ask it
I'm
twice.
got writing utensils and everything here. I'm not quite in an office setting, but just short of it. I
I
will
don't.
make
So
some
this is
more.
actually, for anybody watching this. I'm actually in the same room that we film in my upstairs. This is my hobby space back here, so you can see all my
Right, show off.
mini paints and my maps.
And I'm in my cell where they keep me in between game days.
Yeah, he's down in the basement. We have it.
It's the other
It's not too
dungeon
bad.
that
Yeah.
a different quest. So there's none of my heroes have rescued me yet.
You just need to advertise and put yourself out there more.
My hero. Um, probably more like Mario or something. So they never actually find me. Your prince is in another castle.
Your Zac
Um,
is in another castle.
I can't be a prince, Dave. Really?
Your Zac is in
Really?
another dungeon.
All right. So let's give this a go here. All right, this is going to make reference of our sphincter heavy commentary, but you're always the one trying to keep us on track with the rules. If the body tube theory is true, does that mean that every time you follow the rules, you're just being a very organized digestive tract?
I think you should, if someone hasn't seen the episode, I think you should explain the body tube theory since it's your theory first.
I mean, it's not so much a theory. I would have just said it's fact, but whatever. I think in the moment in our video, I'm not even sure how it come about, but that oh god, this also introduces all kinds of other offshoot stuff with special abilities given to anatomy that is bordering on inappropriate, including a product launch that we're still working on. Though we do have some some concept art that you could put along with this. Here, it's in this. It's on your screen right now. Some art for our upcoming product launch. That Dave is definitely financing 100%. He's on board
You're really
for
hoping I post
confirmation.
an image of that image you generated, aren't
It'd be
you?
weird without. So hey, it's your show. It's your show. I'm just a second chair. Um, so all right. So the whole sphincter thing. If your body is a tube from mouth to butt,
Yeah.
and you have the specialized anatomy to create the necessary closures at either end or at other points within. Um, Somehow along the way, you know, it was like I said, we had a sphincter heavy chat, and they kind of introduced the body tube thing, which I guess we'll just call now the body tube theory. So BTT.
It's
Um,
the three body tube theory.
Yeah, yeah. We're gonna get a book launch. Maybe they'll give us some early money for our book deal. But yeah, the BTT is heavily featured in this episode. And I honestly can't remember what brought it up, but that the the product idea was definitely part of it.
What was your
Oh,
question
if you could
again
put the
for it?
graphic up.
What was your question again?
Just so you're the rule follower, you keeping us on track with the rules, and that on the BTT, if we hold that BTT is true, does that mean that you're a very organized digestive tract,
Probably.
being the rule
I'd probably
follower?
I would be organized, yet I'd leave enough room for creativity.
Oh, okay, so you have some choose your own
Sometimes that
adventure
food takes
within
a
your.
shortcut somewhere, and
Oh.
yeah, it's very efficient. It's got
So
like,
horrible
yeah.
imagery.
All right,
I don't think there's supposed to be forks in that road.
I'll have to have you send me your product picture again, so I
Again, you
can,
didn't even
yeah.
save it.
I
My
probably do have it
holding
saved, but it's
genius.
best to send it to me again. So, and I don't remember. I think we must have talked about it because I'm going to ask you another questions related to this.
Oh
So it
boy.
is in the episode because the questions are from the episode. I cut
Okay.
so much Zach out of each episode. I don't remember what we left in.
That's why the
Um,
companion podcast is a good idea, since you have
yeah, I mean,
some new context clues for the edits.
if I left it in, it'd be 3.5 hour games. Instead,
Well,
whenever
couldn't
I
be
have it
worse
done.
than trying to play Blood Bowl with me. So
Yeah, well, Blood Bowl naturally takes for freaking ever. Okay, so I have a question for you. If you had to
okay.
replace your bum gum with one flavor for the rest of your life to maintain maximum dexterity, what are you chewing? So I'm kind of asking you, what flavor of bum gum would you chew to maintain dexterity for the rest of your life?
Are we saying like RPG, like whole character sheet decks?
What,
We're trying to get buffs, or
whatever
we're only.
flavor that comes out of this, you can say. It doesn't matter what flavor.
Okay. I'm gonna go with cinnamon, or something spicy.
Wouldn't that burn?
Because I feel like that's gonna really like you're not gonna be nodding off. You're gonna move with
Uh,
intention and with a quickness. You're gonna really
how
you're
would
gonna
that bring your
really have
dexterity? Just because it's
yeah.
like you're
Well,
jumping
I mean,
around?
yeah, yeah. I mean, I feel like if you're cooling down, slowing down, that your dexterity is not that high. But I don't know what flavor implies an improvement to dexterity besides just keeping up. So flavor for dexterity. Hmm.
I mean,
No, I think that's kind of the most
all
connection
right.
you can make is
No, I like
something
cinnamon.
spicy,
I
cinnamon,
yeah, that's a lot of fun. That's a fun flavor.
cinnamon. We have to
Yeah.
have like a fantasy world reference to it though. So like cinnamon.
So let's have you
Yep.
ask a question off the
Okay.
list. Right?
So this is going into like a bit of our actual HeroQuest uh, history, but uh, it is applicable probably to almost every episode. We'll ask it now in our inaugural episode here with this Q&A thing. Dave, you're the one who always wants to search for traps after I've already stepped on a poison needle or whatever the trap thing is. Is is that actually a strategy, or are you just waiting to see if I explode before you commit to a room?
The second, I do wait till you see if you explode.
Yeah, I kind of thought that I knew the answer to this
Yeah,
already,
I
but
mean
there's
you're like a walking tank.
there's
We
a
let you have
trend.
7 dice of defense. You might as well just kind of walk just through the entire dungeon, letting everything trigger on you. The only thing that I can see be your foil is pit traps, where like it'd be like a tank going into a pit
Yeah,
trap, where it's like you're trying to back up, beep beep, and you just can't quite get out of
yeah,
the
I
tank trap.
still I still frame it as a form of abuse though, because it's funny that you mention how many defense dice my poor dwarf has. Whenever the traps almost never really rely on that stat in the mechanics. So that's fine, Dave. Just skew it to whatever version of reality you like. It's fine. We all
You can take
aren't
it.
really happy to
He's
do that.
got that magic armor going. He's got the helmet. He's got bracers. He's
Yeah, it's
got a
fine. It's
shield.
no wonder
I'm surprised
it's
he can
no
even move.
wonder he's got a substance problem, okay? Because his friend group are a bunch
um,
of
you,
enablers that are keeping him
you had that.
dependent.
I think you had that since like what is it Quest 2? Once we had the new characters after they all died in Quest 1.
Master General has been around pretty early days of HQ for us.
All right, I got a question for you. Um,
All right.
there's actually two of these I kind of want to ask, but we'll ask the one that gives you a little creative freedom here in this. So hopefully I
There's
won't
no
edit you out.
yeah,
um,
really? Really? Oh my God, the BTS videos are gonna be mostly edited out again. That'll
it's
be
like
the BTS of the
5
BTS
minutes of.
videos.
You were obsessed of
Cutting
calling
room
this.
floor.
Well, you were obsessed with calling the scout Siggy because
Oh,
Sigil
okay.
sounded too much like, well, something else. If you had to rename every monster in the game to something less inappropriate, what are we calling a Dread Knight? Wait, that doesn't make any sense because I want you to call it something less inappropriate, and the Dread Knight's not inappropriate. That's a weird question. Let me try another one.
I
Blah, blah, blah,
get what
blah.
it's going for though for the interpretive part of that because I mean sigil to me it right away means the like a ring like your family crest or whatever
Oh yeah, like yeah, you're
whole
presenting.
thing.
Yeah.
And so that the character's name is that, but spelled differently. And then, of course, I wanted to make the Ziggy Stardust references because of then the furthering the ruckus beard utility belt full of illicit substances and mysterious vials and bottles,
Wow.
whatever.
Okay, so let me switch this to a different one. We found
Okay.
an empty treasure chest that was trapped with a poison needle. On a scale
Okay.
of 1 to I'm calling my mom, which you often say in the videos, how much does Zargon actually hate you personally?
I mean, so this is an interesting put the question because don't know that Zargon really knows that I exist. It's a very existential interrogative there.
I
But
mean,
I
maybe he's been watching
do
the
think that
videos.
my buddy Dave has a hand in putting our poor little dwarven buddy's life at risk regularly in the way of seeking out every trap and or disarming any suspected traps or whatever.
We just
So Zargon,
roll.
I'm not
We
sure.
roll.
He seems indifferent. He's not specifically called out for Ruckus, though he's certainly implicated in the Dave, um, uh, let's say we'll call it a push onto the tracks tendencies that we have for Ruckus.
I just help you along to get you where you're going.
You do help him along, help me along. Yeah, it's just that it's often into the collapsing ceiling, the falling floor tile,
I
whatever
just believe in
version.
you. I'm like,
Not
if
as hard.
anybody, Ruckus can make it through this.
Yeah, so that's a way to read it. We got to go through like industrial size container of band-aids. Uh, so as long as we keep the first aid stuff on like that flow moving along in the right direction, then I think fine.
All right, let's have you try asking me another one.
Okay. Um, so this is, I think, in relation to like a specific comment that you offered up for this episode, but you like that we have a new narrator besides Mentor. If you had to replace Mentor permanently with a celebrity voice, who would be the most Dave approved mentor, and why is it someone boring like a tax accountant? Is the very
Wow,
typical
wow. Uh, it wouldn't be a tax accountant. It would actually be Mark Hamill because
Mark.
his
Oh,
voice, his voice, it said mentors would be amazing.
so it'd be like Batman animated Joker as
Yeah, or
mentor, or
yeah,
just give
like
him free reign to
free
create a whole
reign,
new
whatever he
entity.
wants to do, it would be fantastic. That's
Okay,
who I
Hamill
I
can
think
do
that'd
no
be it.
wrong in the world of Dave.
I think Hasbro is missing a marketing opportunity by not hiring him to do some voiceovers, like as a module that they could just slap on, like. I mean, I would pay an extra dollar or two to get Mark Hamill to replace. I actually wanted to replace Zargon's voice.
It can't be
Um,
like a days long studio session to get the assets done up, but they could totally make it a charity thing like they did with
yeah,
the personal assistant voice swaps or whatever they've done
yeah,
for
I
some
would
years
totally do
now.
it. Mark Hamill, he's my pick.
That'd be pretty cool.
All right. I'm trying to think of which one of these. I might ask you a couple from this section.
Okay.
Yes, you're so good. Okay, so if we actually made the Jean Claude Van Jam T-shirts, and the back of the shirt said "I break, I cry, you break, I buy," who is our target demographic besides people who've had a stroke? I don't. This is
Why
the
is it so
AI.
snarky
This
in the way
this
that it
is
formulates?
this is the
God.
AI throwing some shade at you. I did not
All
write
right. So
these
the question is, if we actually made merch and there was a Jean Claude Van Jam
on the
shirt.
front. And on the
Okay.
back it said "I break, I cry, you break, I buy," which I don't know why we'd have both of those on that one shirt. Like I
Yeah,
don't know
I
how we
think those are
connected
two
us.
different shirts. But if it's the Jean Claude Van Jam, I feel like the best thing to do, especially since it's born in this like silly fancy universe that we play our game in, that it should be like a concert shirt that has the tour locations and dates or whatever, like the tour for Jean Claude Van Jam for 2026 or whatever. Make up our date. But that then the back is that matching art for that. Like where did the tour go for Jean Claude Van Jam? So
Yeah. Well, you
um,
could have like
we
the
can really
in
flesh
the
down what the
dungeon.
Van Jam is. Is
Yeah.
it like
But who are you
Fish,
marketing?
Dead and Company, whatever? Is it like
Who are you marketing this to?
Dave Matthews? Who am I marketing it to?
Yeah, that's the question.
Well,
What's your target
I don't know.
demographic?
It's silly enough that it could stand alone, like in the silly shirts realm. Some Woot shirts or whatever. But of course, we would love that our HeroQuest fans might be the appropriate uh, consumers for much like that. And
All
then,
right.
other than that, I feel like the other shirt is probably even more applicable to like more people because it's super silly. The I break, I cry, you break, you buy. But then I guess you'd still have to. It's not a unique saying. It just you have to put like a fantasy universe spin to it. Maybe it's them going in between quests to the town and visiting the tavern or the apothecary or whatever, and they're you know, there's some kind of scenario that that signage is put onto the shirt.
It could be Von Dom's, shop. It could be Jean Claude Van Jam
Fair.
shop.
Why do you keep Gene? I don't think anybody who's ever seen a Jean-Claude Van Damme movie has
Jean
ever
Claude
been like, "You like that
Van
Gene?"
John Claude
John. Yeah, that could be it too.
Van Jam
John.
artifacts and more.
Claude AI. Jean-Claude Claude AI. We'll get the um, AI that can run on more minimal equipment, and we'll have it be mobile in the back of a, let's just say, 2002 Plymouth Voyager.
Wow, I don't even know where this is coming from.
What's a mobile AI? John Cloud, whatever the hell they're calling that stupid AI product.
All right. So do you have a question for me?
Let's see. You were obsessed with the orc bard idea. If I actually play a bard and my only dread magic is singing 80s Madonna songs at you until your ears bleed, are you going to let me join the party? I feel like I already know the answer.
If you would dress up as Madonna on camera while you're singing, I would let you join the party.
Okay. I mean, I got to get pointy brassiere in some kind of ridiculous finish, chrome, perhaps, dazzled.
I just picture you like crossing this over with what like where he's
Crossover
all
is the right
shiny.
word, Dave.
Where he's all shiny, you spray the chrome on your teeth.
Oh,
Mad
like a
Max.
Mad Max
Yeah, Mad
crossover.
Max.
Okay.
Yeah. Mad
Just witness
Madonna.
me, and
It's
then
Mad Madonna.
I think I saw this on like one of the last seasons of RuPaul.
All right, I'd be down.
The answer was basically no, only if I, um, the only possibility is if I go into the depths of self depravity for your amusement.
Or for everyone's amusement. I don't know why you're holding it just to
Oh, okay.
me.
We'll exploit this poor mentally ill person to
Well,
for everyone else's.
all right. So that was your
I don't know why
fourth
it has to say
question.
until your ears bleed. Why is that necessary part of things?
I mean, I did the AI used to analyze the video to make this. I did tell it to like
Yeah,
figure out who we were, so it must have
yeah.
figured out your voice. But it's
It
very
thinks I
snarky.
sound at all like
The
Madonna,
AI
like
was
today's
very
Madonna.
snarky. Okay, so I'm
Also,
gonna
the
ask
dread
you.
magic on the bard is interesting. I didn't know that there would be any dread magic from the
There
bard.
won't be an on the bard. It just made that up.
Now you
All right,
ruined it
so
because it kind of made me think that his musical instrument slash weapon could be as adorned as your wizard staff.
oh, well, we did have Gary. Remember, he had that like fireball he wanted to unleash, or like a firestorm. You remember that episode? And so I was
Yeah,
saying he had like a big guitar. And he just want to like rock out like he's and like
yeah,
firestorm, and then he would unleash it. And I don't think he actually ever got the spell off. I don't think there was ever a good time. If I remember, I don't remember. I have so
there was the couple of times we had that firestorm, if that's what it's called, the firestorm thing, but where it was like it could hurt friendlies and otherwise hurt
yeah,
baddies. It just like engulfs an entire room or whatever. I feel
yeah,
like we were tiptoeing around that one anytime it came.
yeah, yeah. All right, so you've asked four. I'm gonna ask my fourth.
Okay.
You mentioned a Zacularity, the point where Zac and the AI becomes one. If you were a boss in HeroQuest, what would your dread spell be? And does it involve forcing the heroes to listen to 80s Madonna? It really keyed in on you and Madonna. I'd have to go back and look to see if you actually talked about Madonna in the episode, but I don't remember that.
I mean, the only thing I can imagine is that there's probably some commentary on pointy brassieres that,
Oh.
then led
So,
to 80s Anna references. And then now this is where we are. And I blame Dave. completely.
So
Um,
Zacularity as a Hero Quest
so
boss. What is your dread
yeah,
spell? What dread spell are you casting? Maybe multiple ones.
well, so if we really want to have like current day social commentary tied to the idea of the Zacularity, then it would just be that for no possible benefit to humanity or to even any individual, the Zacularity, this machine intelligence knows everything, but that it can't be useful in any way, and then that is the way you have to defeat the boss by figuring out how to rid the world of
What's this?
any
Wait, I
of
don't understand this dread spell. This got complicated. What is it? What's the dread?
All
What
right,
is
well,
it
I have
casting?
to like distill this down to be what the spell is.
It sounds like
It would
confusion.
be
It's
the
casting
it would be
confusion.
yeah, annoyance. I don't know. We have to kind of gussy it up some for we need a little zhuzh on this. What would be the way to say that there's a well actually the most annoying spell in the world spell? Um,
It's
shoot. Zacularity. Um, maybe it's just it keeps interrupting every action. So like whatever action that you were started, it interrupts, and that it takes you on this long winding path that
it,
you don't remember. The characters don't remember what the chosen action was, so it's always random. So it's like it's a very distinct version of like a confusion or whatever kind of
Zach,
psyche
this is
thing.
sounding like some of your ramblings that have been in the
That's
game.
what I'm getting at. I mean, I just work here, but
I was thinking like
so that would be
it was a
that would be
spell
the magic.
that constantly interrupts them. Like as they're about to speak, it says that's what she said.
Well, yes, but it's also that the mechanics of it is that whatever your chosen action was, which you had to like prescribe, you had to state what your chosen action was. It's it's you know confused, like annoyed and confused the party to the extent that it's randomized after the fact. So what you wanted to go over here and do this, and you're unable to because of the
Hmm.
lengthy, annoying distraction, aka
We
the ed room 4 that
you're
the
never gonna become a hero quick because I don't need a 6 hour video to try to edit and
eh, that's what I'm here for.
I think our longest one ever. I think we had a 4 hour one once.
I don't doubt it.
And I don't remember. You and I got off on a lot of tangents for a long time, and I
I
think it
do
ended up being
believe
about
that.
4 hours. And that's a wrap. Quest complete. And then so I hope everyone enjoyed our Q&A session. AI inspired questions that sometimes don't really make sense or are very snarky. And if this works out well, let us know. Like, subscribe, and share, comment. I think these are fun to do, and it'd be fun to start adding these on every quest. So just let us know. All right. Thanks, everyone.